Chairman. Commissioner, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that there's going to be $1 trillion in Obamacare subsidies over the next 10 years, and that is just a huge pool of money, as you know. You've said that those who simply check a box are going to be free from a level of scrutiny, which suggests that there's going to be a significant number of people who are going to be subject to scrutiny in terms of income verification and so forth. And it seems to me like the IRS is just poised to go swimming in a huge pool of money. So the question is, what are the things that are happening proactively to prevent the next Lois Lerner 2.0, from looking out over a landscape with a high level of discretion to be able to say, you know what, we're going to make inquiries here, and we're going to make inquiries there, and we're not going to make inquiries over here, and you see where I'm going. And there's a high level of suspicion. And also, I mean, you said that you're meeting with IT people every 2 weeks, and I accepted face value that you need to meet with IT people every 2 weeks. But are these the same IT people that can't find Lois Lerner's emails and can't deal with hard drives? And so what level of confidence does the American public have that they're looking out and they're saying to themselves, holy Moses. I mean, when this institution, the Internal Revenue Service, reaches its long arm into our lives and grabs somebody by the neck and shakes them up, it gets people's attention, and it can be incredibly damaging. Now, the administration last year said, we're basically going to do an honor system because it's too overwhelming. So what's the level of confidence that there's not an environment where Lois Lerner 2.0 is able to emerge?
You've asked a set of questions. Let me try to deal with all of them. First of all, we're trying to remind everybody of this, the Inspector General, who filed a report about the use of improper criteria, said to fix the problem there were a series of 9 recommendations that the IRS should adopt. We have adopted and implemented all of those recommendations. In our normal exam process, there is no way that any individual can single out any taxpayer for review.
Why not?
Because there's a review process. First of all, anyone selected, the first cut at the selection is made automatically by computer. To the extent then exams are decided, there are 3 people who meet and have to approve that, so that the system is designed, and has been for some time, so that no one can pick out an individual taxpayer for review.
But
we have buttressed that with all of the recommendations the IG said we should do.
Wasn't that true, though, in the C4 situation where, I mean, look, these are C4 applicants that rise to a level of scrutiny. They were presumably chosen by a computer by definition because they were C4 applicants, and then Lois Lerner makes decisions about, well, we're going here and we're going there. So you've got now another computer that's going to be deciding there's a level of, there's a threshold that the program presumably pops people up. And presumably those are people, by your own definition, who haven't checked the box. Right. So now they're in open country. What prevents an IRS employee from saying, I'm going after you?
First of all, I think I'm waiting for the rest of the investigators to be completed. There's no evidence thus far that anybody picked an individual organization to be picked out. There were improper criteria used to select an entire set of organizations. No individual organization was targeted.
No, but you're not defending Lois Lerner.
I'm not. I don't know her, and I'm not defending her. What I am trying to defend,
I wouldn't give her eye contact. Go ahead.
What I'm trying to defend is that whatever the recommendations were the Inspector General thought were necessary to fix the problem have been adopted, have been implemented, and I am confident that if people haven't learned any other lesson in the last year and a half, they've learned this lesson, that we need to provide guarantees to the American public that they can be confident that whether it's the Affordable Care Act or any other part of the implementation of the tax code, if they hear from us, they're hearing from us for something in their return, and that they have not been selected arbitrarily. If someone else had that same issue, they'd hear from us as well.
Commissioner, my time is waning. Let me just impress upon one point that I know you're understanding what I'm saying, but just unambiguously. This committee has a high level of scrutiny and a high level of expectation that the administration by the Internal Revenue Service of all elements of the tax code are unbiased and impartial. And it is a huge background to overcome because the American public is burned, and they're not going to put up with it. And so with that, I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I would just say we share that view with you. That is that the American public deserves and needs to be